Hi, it's Lee Solon again. Day is August 12th at 6 o'clock, 6:05 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. This is World Languages Live. Topic today is learning Dutch. Um, First video didn't cover as much as material as I wanted to, but really, I did, but video didn't ended before I realized it stopped on me. So I wasn't really prepared for that the second half of that anyway. So we'll just save that for tomorrow when I've looked it over more and went over with Slash exactly what he means on some on the stuff. But we do have he has did a transcript on the whole video now, so it won't be too long before if you go to the YouTube video, you'll see the whole transcription posted. And not much long after that, we'll have finished posting the word by word translation for the whole 7 minutes and some seconds of the video. Okay. Um, so with that said, all I want to do is finish what I started yesterday on my system. I went over. You start out by number one, surrounding yourself with the language, but passive listening. That means it's in your ear, playing in the same room, but you're ignoring it. Go about your day. Listen to music, read a book, um, watch TV, watch Netflix, and the Dutch is playing nearby, but not loud enough to bother anything else you're doing. Okay, and that type of surrounding yourself with the language, this is how a child learns their own language. Number one, they're continuously tuning their ear into the language. Being surrounded by the language is part of that. Furthermore, later on, after their ears tuned in, they hear everything really well. Well, then they're learning new words. Okay, and those new words they hear with that really good ear, they're couched inside of known words. And someone says something to the child learns that word, not at the moment, but the speech center picks it up. Overnight, speech center puts the language into the child's permanent memory. So the next day when the child wakes up, the child knows the word. Okay. So and then at that point, that same word is again being spoken in the background. The kid is still surrounded by Dutch. Okay? So I'm telling people, number one, surround yourself with Dutch. Number two, do the ear tuning exercises, which parallels that child hearing the same phrase. Hey, what a pretty baby, what a pretty baby, what a pretty baby. Here's your bottle, daddy's home, daddy's home, daddy's home. Um, Stuff that all the time, same phrases over and over again. And all my ear tuning is having you listen to for this video 20 seconds of Slash's speech. It's the first 20 seconds of the video, and I represent them. I represent that speech syllable by syllable in English letters with a key below. It says exactly what you should be hearing. Well, not exactly, but close enough. Okay. All you need is close enough here because it makes when I tell you to read my ear tuning syllables exactly as you're listening to him speak them, each syllable, you're trying to follow the syllables. Okay. You start out where you hear him talking kind of fuzzy, can't make out where one word, like he's slurring all of his words together. He's not. He's speaking nice and clearly in very distinct words. Once you've done my ear tuning for a couple of days, assuming you did the first part, the passive listening for 21 hours where you're ignoring it, and a couple of days of ear tuning at 1 hour a day, maybe a third day, I doubt it in most cases, these words are going to start sounding clear to you, okay? And at that point, you don't have a native ear for that language. You keep doing the ear tuning for the whole first week, do an hour a day, and then start slacking off to half hour a day, etc. If you're low on time, because ear tuning exercises do take an hour a day. If you don't, but you don't have an hour a day. Hey, do 10 minutes a day. Let's do it every day. It'll work. A little slower, but it'll work. Okay. So now your ear is tuned into Dutch. And of course, you're not stopping the ear tuning. You're always aiming toward a native ear. You still try to tune your ear into Dutch. You're still surrounding yourself with the language by the passive listening. Time for those read-throughs to start. Okay, read-throughs. This is looking over some notes about what a Dutch sentence means. Not just any Dutch sentence. It's the Dutch sentence that you're just about to listen to. Okay? Because you're trying to associate the known language to the target language, which is Dutch in this case. And it's not for your conscious mind. It's for your speech center, okay? Remember, you have this language supercomputer up in your brain called a called a speech center, okay? And it's looking for input. So you, as the learner, got to realize that it's not, you have nothing to do with it. You're not learning this language. Your speech center is. Why would you want to take your time to learn a language and you have a supercomputer up in your brain that is perfectly capable of learning this language without you worrying about it, okay? But you have to do the input. Well, what input at this point does your speech center need? It needs some known language spoken right along with the target language together. The two things have to be in the same, I'm not sure exact time frame, but close together is practical, right? So you're gonna read the notes on the first sentence. Okay, you looked over. You just give an example. Okay, we have this sentence, and we hebben das een deal gemacht. Okay. Oh, so you look at the note. I'm gonna have the word by word translations, right? So you're gonna look at this, and you got to look at two different places. What you have to have you should have the Dutch in front of you, right? What he said without the translations, and separately you got the Dutch with the word by word translation. Okay, so somehow you need to get those side by side or know how to go back and forth between the two of them. Okay. People on phones. I work with a laptop. Okay, but you're gonna have to figure out how to do it. One way you can do it is you can simply write out everything. Everything you see that I have typed on a site somewhere, hey, write it out. Because if you write it out, there it is. You can read it, right? You can write out my word by word translation. Write out my uh, transcription, okay, of what he said. So my transcription, our transcription. Dash is doing the transcriptions of his own voice, and I'm going through there and doing a lot with it. But he's the one doing most of the work, and he teaches me what words I don't know are. Also, I look some up myself. Okay, but if you're working with a phone and you find it difficult to put all the stuff side by side, then hey, get a notebook, write out the Dutch, write out a sentence in Dutch, and below that, put put what each word means, and below that you can put in the English translation, which is also available as a comment to the YouTube video. Okay, so you have all that. You got the translation in English. You got the word by word translation, and above all that, you got the Dutch sentence. So this particular Dutch sentence, en we hebben dus een deal gemaakt. Well, and we have hebben thus a deal, it's English and Dutch, deal gemaakt. And we made a deal. Okay, so you know what it means. You've looked at it. And if you're like a German, if you're a German person, you already know this probably, okay, without needing the read-throughs. But if you're maybe a Spanish speaker, uh, maybe takes you a moment to figure this out what it means. But okay, you know what it means, right? And it's not studying. You just look at it and you go, okay, and we have thus a deal made. Okay. Now, you read that sentence while listening to it about 3 times. And if anytime as you're reading it and listening to it, you got some question about what it means, and you go back and look again at the definitions right below the sentence, okay? Or if you're doing this all by your computer, you'd have all the verbiage in the right place. You can go right from right from one spot to the next. You go from the word by word translations, then back up to the where the text is without the translations. Or hey, if you have to, you could read the text with the translations. Okay, I don't think it's the best way to go about it, but you can do that too. If that's all you can do, yeah, do that. If you have the word by word translations, well, maybe if that's the easiest thing for you to do, then just read my word by word translations. Trying to read the Dutch, you're going to read the Dutch and the parentheses, the English definition, then there's going to be the more Dutch, whichever way you want to do. But either way you do it, you're going to have to learn to read Dutch. Okay, I'm having you read it like 3 times after you've looked at what it means. And now when you hear it and you're reading it, even though in your head, as far as academically, you might know that what it means, okay, and we had made a deal, okay. When you hear it, and we hebben dus een deal gemaakt, you still might not understand it, okay. When it's blurted out in Dutch at full speed, even though your ear is tuned to it, you still might not know what it means, but that doesn't matter. You've looked at the definitions, you've listened to it, okay? Now a few times you're gonna just listen to it. You got your eyes closed, okay? Well, I gotta read this, okay? En we hebben dus een deal gemaakt. En we hebben dus een deal gemaakt. Okay, I closed my eyes at that time. Okay. One more time. En we hebben dus een deal gemaakt. Okay, so I'm pretending I'm the audio here, right? Okay, you heard it 3 times while reading it. You listen 3 times to make sure, well, not to make sure, just to see if you could understand it by ear. And if this is your first day doing this, you still might not really understand it. You're seeing how much you understand it. No, you don't have to go read the definitions 10 more times and listen 10 more times, read it 10 more times. No, just a few times, listening while reading, a few times.